as always, last but not least is the 2025 World Championship recap for women. And it was amazing. The women came, they saw, they conquered, they fall. Now, I know everyone is calling the women competition Adelina 2.0. Were there some aspect of Adelina ish to this competition? Yes. But was it Adelina 2.0? I don't think it was as bad as Sochi. But we're going to get into it. But before we get into that, in terms of the spots that were qualified for the women, for the Olympic in Milan, let's see, the US kept its 3 spots. Japan kept its 3 spots. Thank you, Jesus. Belgium gained 2 spots. Yes. I feel like this is especially important because Luna Hendricks should be coming back from surgery. So Belgium having 2 spots for the Olympic, that alleviates some of the pressure and gives them more options. So I was really happy to see Belgium get 2 spots. Estonia, they have 2 spots. I'm trying to think who they probably could send, but I'm not too sure. But they have 2 spots. South Korea lost a spot, and I feel like we all saw that coming. We knew it was going to be very, very difficult for South Korea to maintain 3 spots, and unfortunately, they were not able to maintain that 3 spots. So now I'm trying to think, like, who is South Korea gonna send? They only got 2 spots. Who is South Korea gonna send? Oh my goodness, I don't even want to think about it. Next season is going to be very, very hard. Canada, unfortunately, did not manage to get that 2nd spot. They only have 1 spot. Switzerland maintained their 2 spots. That was very, very close for Switzerland, but they managed to maintain that 2 spots. Unfortunately, Italy, they lost a spot, so they only have 1 spot for the home Olympic. I wonder if they still have the chance to go to China to gain that 2nd spot. I hope they do because they desperately need that 2nd spot. Now, there was a lot of heartache at the women's competition. There were a lot of skaters who did not make it into, the free program, and I know that was just devastating for them. We had like Nini, the only Chinese skater who was competing here, Zai Ji, and she did not make it into the free dance. Unfortunately, she took a fall in her combination, and you could see how upset she was. She went, damn! And waved her hand. You knew she was upset. She did not make it into the free dance. South Korea's Unsu Yoon, also very, very hard, short program for her. She did not make it into, the free program. And unfortunately, that also did not help. It did not help South Korea in terms of keeping, their 3 spots. I think probably the most surprising of all the skaters who didn't make it into the long program was Anastasia Gabanova. Oh my God. You guys know that I have a fondness for Anastasia. Not just because she told us that Daddy skaters do drugs, we already knew that, but because she had been paying the price for making that comment ever since. The judges had been burying her ever since, but she didn't give up. She continued to fight. And I felt like she was finally making a breakthrough this season. And then, bam, this happened. So my heart broke. You could see her heart breaking and that kiss and cry, and my heart broke for her. But unfortunately, she did not make it to the free program, which means they're gonna have to go to China in order for them to get that spot for the Olympics. Um, Overall, I felt like the women's competition went more or less as could be expected. There were some skaters that I felt that were a little underscore. You know, Lauren Cha, Lauren Child did I feel like very respectable here. This was a very respectable outing for her. We had in 14th place Sophia Samondardkina. I do feel like Sophia was underscored, both in the short program and in the long program. And this is my problem and will remain my problem with figure skating, which is the reputation base scoring. The judges are scoring Sophia based on the fact that she's a new skater and not based on what Sophia is doing as a skater. And I don't think that's fair. I've never thought that was fair. I would have definitely had Sophia in the top 10, top 8. Yeah, this was not to my liking at all what happened to Sophia. I was very happy to see Ekaterina Karakova making it to the long program. I honestly did not think she would make it to the long program, but she managed to make it to the long program and she finished 20th overall. And I feel like listen, for her, I think that was a great achievement given what she's gone through all season and her not making it last year. So I feel like that's a good mental hurdle that she has finally overcome. So I was really happy for her in terms of that. I was a little disappointed about where Sofia Samondardkina managed to land. Lara Naki Goodman, one of my favorite skaters. I feel like she's such a conceptual skater. She comes up with such great concepts for her programs. She delivers them so well. The Squid Game short program she had this season, I absolutely love it. Her long program also very, very good. Big fan of Lara Naki Goodman. In 12th place was Kimi Rippon. I honestly thought Kimmy would do a lot better at this event. But again, she's grown so much. They're reworking the jump technique. She has struggled a lot this season, but I'm still looking forward to see what she does and where she goes next season. Again, another skater. I personally really liked the Mother Nature short program. I thought it was beautiful music and she skated it beautifully. The long program, not as much. So I really hope she gets two great programs next season. Madeline Shrizar. That short program, I'm sorry, Skizas. Madeline Skizas. I always go back to the old name. Madeline Skizas. Wow, wow, that short program was the best that I've seen Madeline in years. She really gave everything she had in that short program and it got her into 6th place. That's how good that short program was. She's not a long program skater. Her jumps tend to be under rotated in the long program. The fatigue tends to come in. So she definitely needs to work on her stamina and she needs to work on the jump rotations. Again, I hope she has really good programs next season because that's also going to help get her a better position. My heart broke so much for Cheon Kim. So much for Cheon Kim. She had been so consistent this entire season. That short program, I don't believe there was any competition in which that short program was not clean. That short program this entire season was clean. And then you saw in her the practice, she went to do the triple Lutz triple toe combination and she took a huge fall in the practice and you could tell that the fall knocked the wind out of her. And when she came to the competition, she still was not completely there. And for her to have a step out on that competition, on that combination, just showed how hard that fall in the practice was. And unfortunately, with that, fall, it put her in 11th place in the short program. And I felt like that was just such a blow to her that she didn't have the strength and the energy to come back. And then next thing we know, it was all around sad. It was just all around very, very sad. She finished in ninth place. She finished in 10th place here. I hope next season the stupid South Korean Skating Federation does not overcompete their skaters, that they pace things out. And I hope that Cheon's team also understand the concept of pacing things out. She doesn't have to win everything at the start. She can slowly build and conserve her energy so that she can make it to the finish line with a bang. Surprise of surprise, the highest finished South Korean women here was not Cheon Kim but Hyen Lee. Really great short program. Jumps looked crisp. She looked in control. The program suited her very well. The long program again, the jump calls, the under rotation, the stamina, we saw them all here, but we started to get a glimmer of the old Hyen Lee. She's starting to get back to where she was, and I feel like if she continues in this trajectory, it's gonna make it very difficult for the South Korean Skating Union because they only have two spots. They lost that third spot. So now they have Jia Shen, who's becoming a senior. She's gonna be fighting for one spot. Yu Young should be coming back from her suspension. She's probably gonna try to fight for a spot. They also have Hyen Lee, who's gonna fight for a spot. They have Cheon Kim, who's gonna fight for a spot. So they have four skaters potentially fighting for only two spots. That is going to be very, very tough. And I don't know if they even have the option of going to China to get a third spot. They may have the option. I really have to read the rules and guidelines for that spot in China, who can go and who can't go. If somebody knows, if somebody has read the ISU guideline in terms of how the spots, the Olympic spots for the competition in China are going to be distributed, please share with me in the comment. But I'm going to have to look it up to see. So I don't know if South Korea has the option of sending one of their women to fight for that third spot. But for right now, they have two spots and four or more potential women who are going to be fighting for it. And that's going to be heartbreaking no matter how you look at it. In eighth place is Nina Petrokina. What a rise. She, European champion, she came out, the short program did not quite go the way she wanted, but she sucked it up, came back in the free and gave one of the best free programs she skated so far. And that is the mindset of a great competitor, being able to forget what happened the day before, coming and delivered. Again, I'm a big fan of Nina because she has those girthy jumps that I like. She's got ice coverage. She's got, speed. She's got height. I really am a big fan of her jump. In seventh place was Nina Pizzaroni. I don't know why the judges are not a big fan of Nina Pizzaroni. I feel like other people get away with those edge calls, but Nina be getting like, the game where the mole pokes its head out and then you whack it? Whack-a-mole. I feel like Nina is always getting whacked for her jumps, whereas other skaters sometimes are able to get away with it. So I do feel bad for Nina because the judges just don't want to give her a break. Then in sixth place, and I feel like if the judges do not rob Wakaba Higuchi, it's like they don't feel right in their soul. Because for me, Wakaba Higuchi should have been in first place after that short program. Wakaba should have been in first place after that short program. In terms of she has my favorite single Dune program of the season. It is beautifully conceptualized. It is beautifully choreographed. Every movement is incredible. She did everything she was supposed to and more in that short program. And I feel like the judges felt like giving her a 72 was like doing us a favor. Take that 72 and shove it, judges. You guys have been robbing this skater for almost a decade. You have been robbing her in her PCS for almost a decade, and now you want us to be grateful to you? Shove it up your derriere, ISU. I was so upset, and I continue to be upset because I feel like if the judges do not rob Wakaba, they don't feel good. For me, Wakaba should have been on the podium, if not fourth place at this competition. But whatever. Um, in fifth place, and I wouldn't have put her over Wakaba, but whatever, the judges are gonna do what they're gonna do, was Amber Glenn. I'm so proud of Amber because she fought. She went down on the triple axel, and I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no. But no, she came right back and continued and fought. And that, I feel like, is an attestation to the mental work that she is doing, working with that mental health provider, working with that sports psychologist. You can see it in her willingness to fight, in her willingness, to not give up on the program. I'm really looking forward to see, as she gets mentally stronger and physically stronger, how her career is gonna go. I was very happy for her because she didn't give up on either of her program. Even though she was in ninth place after the short program, she still came and fought in the free program, and I was really happy to see that. In fourth place, and of course, I completely disagree with that. I did not feel like Isabel Levito should have been in third place after the short program. I feel like that home ice advantage, that home court advantage was given to Isabel at the maximum level. Those jumps should have all been called, and they were not. I do absolutely love that Breakfast at Tiffany short program on her. I do feel like Isabel has wonderful ice presence, wonderful skating, abilities. She holds beautiful positions. She tells a lovely stories. There's so much that I just adored about Isabel's skating. However, in that long program, her jumps should have gotten negative GOE. The generosity of the judges really had me just wondering how. How? How do you justify putting Isabel with those jumps over Wakaba Higuchi? Even if you take into effect the political, aspect of skating and the fact that this was in the US and they had home court advantage, even all of that doesn't justify it. But I'm glad to see Isabel is healing from her injury. I still hate her jump technique, and I still hate the people who taught that wonderful young skater that horrendous jump technique. Um, then in third place, Mona Chiba. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. She finally got herself the complete set, a clean short program. I love that short program. The Donna Summer short program, it was so fun. It was so quirky. It suited her so well. Loved it. And then her free dance, her long program, so very different from her short program. And again, it perfectly suited her. The softness of her skating, the beauty of her edge, her ice coverage, her presentation, her musicality. Again, I have an aesthetic preference. And Mona Shiba is one of those skaters that perfectly suits that aesthetic preference. And then her jumps to boot, technically just amazing. And I'm so glad for her that she managed to get on the podium here. And then we get to the silver medal, Kaori Sakamoto, her winning streak finally coming to an end. Unfortunately, I feel like the pressure just maybe got to her a little, and that's why she popped that jump in her combination. Uh, it- I mean, on the one hand, Kaori popping the flip was a major mistake, but her ability to still manage to add the triple toe. Can you imagine popping a flip and then still having the core strength to add a triple toe to it? It just went to show how amazing of a skater she has, the mental fortitude that she has. Her fighting ability is really next level. I was just completely amazed by that. I don't think there are many skaters who could have, salvaged that. And she managed to salvage that. And because she salvaged it, she was in fifth place in the short program, and that put her into position to climb back up to the podium. So overall here, a second place finish for Kaori Sakamoto. Absolutely amazing. And again, when her program started out this season, I said this, and I always say this every season. Kaori is the kind of skater who starts out with her program skating her, and by the end of the season, she takes full possession of her program. That free dance from her was absolutely amazing. She took complete control of that program, and it was great. And then in first place here, surprise to me, was Alyssa Liu. Yes. Did she enjoy that home court advantage? Yes. Did the judges, seeing that Amber was not going to get the job done, decide that they were going to have a U.S. lady winner no matter what? And then they decided to push Alyssa? Yes. But Kaori gave them justification to do that by not being able to skate clean in the short program. And then Alyssa also gave them the ability to do that because she was clean in both the short and the long program. Yes, this was very political. Yes, this was very much the home court advantage inflation. But I still don't think it was Adelina level. I think it's just right below Adelina. I think we'll have the Adelina situation, and then some others, and then a little lower the Alyssa Liu win. I felt like this was the best we've seen Alyssa Liu all season. I do think some other skaters got call on their jumps, whereas Alyssa got a bye. And again, that was because the judges were determined for them to have a U.S. Women champion. And so they were very, very generous to her. So for me, I would say this was like 51% won and 99 and 49% awarded. It wasn't a complete won by Alyssa. It was awarded somewhat, but at the same time, I do feel like Alyssa had two incredible performances. I love that short program from her. I've loved it all season. It's one of my favorite short program. She just skates it with so much lightness, with so much joy, with so much effortlessness that it's just amazing. And then the Donna Summer, I feel like she fully embodied that Donna Summer long program. The music cut was pretty good. She got all of her jumps done. She had the stamina. She had, the audience was behind her, and it was just amazing. So while I'm not 100% satisfied with what happened with the women, I might want to set a couple of judges on fire, but not all of them. So there were some things that I just thought was really funny, like when the commentator said Isabel unconventional jump technique. I was like, is that what we're calling it now? That shitty jump technique that's gonna cause her to harm herself. We're calling it unconventional. But at the same time, I was like, well, at least she's pointing out there's something there with the jump technique. So I thought that was really, really interesting. Overall, I was good with this particular competition. I wasn't 100% satisfied with the women, but I was good with the competition. And now I feel like we're going into the Olympic with so much fire, with so much potential, with so much everyone basically wide open to win it. And I feel like that's very exciting for women. This was my thought on the women, and this concludes all of my recaps for the 2025 World Championship figure skating. As we all know, The blades are thin. The ice is slippery. Anything that can happen in figure skating did happen in figure skating. This was my thought on this event, but you guys let me know in the comment below what you thought.